Here are my spoiler filled thoughts about The Nun. It's directed by Corin Hardy. It's written by Gary Dauberman. Cinematography by Maxime Alexandre. Cast is Taissa Farmiga, Sister Irene. Bonnie Aarons returns as Valak. Demian Bichir, Father Burke. I hope I didn't just butcher his name. Jonas Bloquet as Frenchie. The plot is after a nun commits suicide in an abbey in Romania in the 1940s. Movie takes place in the 1940s. Sister Irene and Father Burke have to investigate to make sure that it's still a holy place. I'm gonna get my spoiler-free thoughts out of the way, and then after that, we're on to the spoilers. This movie, I think, is really hated, like heavily hated for, like saying that, pretty much to say that there isn't anything good about this movie. I just think is wrong, because I think there's a good amount that is good about this movie. One is it actually had pretty creepy scenes that which was really helped by the abbey in Romania, which I really like that location because of it gave off a really thick gothic atmosphere. There are problems though, unfortunately. I don't think that there was enough characterization for like Father Burke and Sister Irene, even Frenchie. And there was a twist that I don't think worked because they unfortunately showed it was a twist like way too early. It starts with two nuns trying to find an artifact, but as one of the nuns goes into a dark room, she's attacked and killed as she like starts to pray as the other nun witnesses. The other nun runs to the window where they had a noose, assuming it's a backup plan in case something went awry, so whoever lived could sacrifice themselves so that the demon doesn't get a hold of them. And she leaps out of the window while Valak is slowly coming from the room as it makes the flame go out for the candles as it floats by. Frenchie finds the nun's corpse, the one who hung herself, hanging when he came to drop off the supplies for them to, live. Father Burke is then contacted because by the Vatican to investigate the abbey, to, like I said, make sure it's still holy, make sure it's okay. Because obviously a nun killing herself is not a normal thing. Sister Irene is then contacted to help, which surprises her because she hasn't done her final vows yet to be a full-fledged nun. They head to Romania and meet with Frenchie, the guy who found the corpse, and who brings them to the abbey, where they go to the deliveries place where Frenchie drops off supplies for the nuns. And the corpse of the nun was brought into that room and laid down because Frenchie didn't know where to put her. And instead of laying down like he put her, the corpse is sitting up. It's as if it was still alive, but obviously not because it's dead. They give her after that. Obviously, the Father Burke and Sister Irene give her a proper burial, and Frenchie doesn't makes the mistake of staying a little too long to where it gets dark outside when he starts to leave. And really creepy scene where while he's walking outside with the lantern, he sees the nun holding a noose, the one who hung herself, walking around like the cemetery thing outside of the abbey. And it's really really creepy because of what because obviously Frenchie moved her corpse, so she shouldn't be up walking around, and then gets confronted by it after it falls down from the tree, reenacting what pretty much happened to the nun with the noose, and hung her right in front of him as it, and then obviously falls onto Frenchie, attempting to kill him until he pushes the thing off and runs away. But before he does that, because there's a lot of headstones, and obviously since it was made a holy place, there's a lot of crosses for the headstones. And he grabbed one to use it to, like, I guess keep himself safe until he gets out of the area of the abbey, which I thought was kind of funny. And Father Burke, we then learn a little bit more about Father Burke, or sorry, not more about Father Burke, but more about the struggles he went through when during an exorcism a few years, I think a few years ago, where it went wrong. The exorcism went wrong, and the kid, Damien, I think the kid's name was Damien, went wrong, and the kid died from his injuries after Father Burke got the demon out of the child, which I thought was I think that was smart. It gave like some emotional beat to the character, even though I don't think it's enough to really think he's like an amazing character. And this is where that twist that failed came in, because then they showed the nuns that were alive who got killed, sorry, in the beginning, acting like they're alive, and that gave away the twist that all the nuns are dead and killed by Valak, which I thought they should have used. If they're gonna do that twist, they should have used like nuns we haven't seen yet, to where we see them don't know until they actually want to reveal the twist, because it really ruined it. Really did not. Really did not work because it was revealed way too early. Because if you're just even just a tiny bit paying attention to the movie, you will see that those were the nuns that got killed in the beginning. There is a lot of good history about the Abbey, though, which I thought was pretty good. Where there was a guy who wrote books and stuff about how to summon demons and just about witchcraft and stuff like that. And he opened up a portal in like the Abbey's basement where a demon thing was coming through, but the church was storming the castle at the time, which allowed them to get there and use the relic with the blood of Christ to close the portal. And I'm pretty sure they killed the guy who tried to do that for, well, trying to summon demons. And they had constant prayer to keep the evil at bay by nuns that lived at the Abbey, which I thought was really interesting. After that, there's a creepy scene, obviously not right after, but that Father Burke experiences, because he sees the kid. The Valak is using the kid to terrorize Father Burke because obviously he feels guilty about it. And he follows him outside, and then he shines a flashlight and sees the kid. But in The Conjuring 2, they mentioned that Valak was because Valak was the main antagonist in Conjuring 2, that it was the Marquis of Snakes. And I thought it was kind of cool that they used the snake to, like, as a symbol of Valak. And it not scared Father Burke, and obviously he doesn't expect a coffin to be open with dirt dug out. So he falls into the coffin where the coffin's closed on him, and then it has a gravestone that says his name on it. And I cannot even imagine going through that. Luckily for him, though, there was a bell that they had for when the plague and stuff was a thing, to where if you were alive and got buried alive, you could ring the bell and they would dig you up and you could actually have a chance of surviving. And at the same point that he's dealing with this, Sister Irene goes through her own scare, which it was kind of, they did it a little bit differently, but it was pretty much the same scare as Conjuring 2 with the painting, where it shows the shadow walking along the wall, and then you see it in the mirror. Well, in the mirror in the nun. In the movie, or Conjuring 2 movie, it would use the painting to charge at Lorraine Warren. And kind of wish I did something a little bit more different with that, because Volok is a really creepy antagonist. And then after that, Sister Irene heads outside, obviously probably to get away from stuff she's been experiencing. And Volok tries to, because, yeah, Volok tries to manipulate Sister Irene to not know which coffin that Father Burke was in. And she has like a psychic ability apparently, even though they don't really go much into that. And she figures out which one it is, starts digging out Father Burke, but then Father Burke encounters Volok, who tries to kill him right as she's able to swing the shovel and break into the coffin, almost hitting the priest. Then there was a scene where it shows all the nuns praying, but it's obvious at this point that, since they gave it away earlier, that all the nuns are dead. So it's like their spirits helping her pray. She gets attacked and like a star scratched into her. I'm not sure what the star is. I'm not sure if it's supposed to represent the Star of David or Star of something else, but yeah, that happens. Frenchie came back because the evil is leaking into the town, and a young girl killed herself because it started infecting people, which is it's really sad. So he comes back to help them try to defeat Volok. And so they use, can't believe I forgot to mention this, the corpse of the nun who hung herself had a key that was in a locked room, or locked part of the abbey, where the relic, the blood of Christ, is, or it used to unlock to where the blood of Christ is. And they go down into the basement thing. Frenchie encounters, for some reason they split up. I'm not sure if they got separated. I didn't see anything that would say they got separated. I guess they tried to split apart, but I just don't think that's a smart idea, considering there's a demon so strong it takes the blood of Christ to banish it. And Sister Irene, it gets followed by a blank-faced nun, and as she turns around, you'd expect, oh, it won't be there anymore. No, it's still there, but something from a hallway grabs her, or charges into her, choking her. And Father Burke, obviously trying to find Frenchie, and Sister Irene walks around a corner, and then all of a sudden sees a bunch of the blank-faced not not obviously real nuns, but symbolizing of nuns. And he had to use holy water and fire to keep them away. And then when Frenchie finally finds her, or finds the room that she's in, there's a bunch of stand-ins, I guess, to try to trick Frenchie until he sees her like half floating or floating with her feet still touching the ground, but in a way that no human could stand. And Frenchie obviously gets attacked by Sister Irene, who is now possessed by Volok, and she has the blood of Christ around, or like on a necklace around her, neck. Jesus. Um, and Frenchie was able to get some of the blood out, and he wiped it on Sister Irene's like forehead, which caused Volok to be expelled from her body. Volok obviously goes after Irene again. Well, he almost kills Frenchie first because Frenchie interfered, and then she got thrown into like some water pit thing where she encounters Volok again, and it she ends up almost getting killed by Volok, but she's able to get the blood of Christ into her mouth to where she spits it onto Volok, which banishes it to back to hell, which the effects for that look great. I love that. I love the how they did that. But in the end, they buried all the nuns who died, gave them a proper burial, and obviously thinking the evil is gone. But then the movie ends with Frenchie like a upside down cross, like his skin forms an upside down cross, showing that obviously Volok got into Frenchie. And what they did next with this I thought was really cool. It really tied in the Conjuring movies. There was a guy who you saw in the first Conjuring, you didn't know if there was going to be any context for it or what, but all you knew was that he showed Lorraine Warren a vision of Ed Warren getting killed, but then you figure out that that guy's Frenchie, and Frenchie was one who caused Lorraine Warren to see that vision, which I thought was really interesting. Overall, it's a pretty good movie with good scares. Some I think some really cool twists or a cool twist, but also a not so great twist. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment.